Sorry about that, y'all. I'm doing some things. So, all right, about to be getting started. I needed to do something real quick, so I had to switch scene. Uh, so about to get started. About to switch back. Just came across some information on here. Uh, Trying to do an experiment. All right, be in here. Hope everything is well. Hope I can be heard pretty good. Um, Find out what all this noise is. 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 Find out what all this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 'cause I forgot I opened up another what's the name so I can share the stream. That's why. Like, what the heck is all that noise? Yeah, I forgot sharing the stream. Got to turn down my volume. Let's see. All right, let's get going. On this profile, I had to get rid of all my trucks, brand new trucks. Um, like I guess I had a sound mod in here, and it eliminated the actual original sound. So uh, luckily I didn't have no people working for me, and it's just me. And, jobs. To help y'all out, anybody got the game. Normally, if you using mod, you have to, and you have mod conflict where the engine disappears, and more likely you got to tow the truck. So, and really you can sort of start off so many words. So, word to the wise, you're not really sure if you want to lose your truck. Try not to go into using too many sound mods. And I wanted to see how much, if anything had changed in regards of the sounds, original sounds. See, the air brake is still original. I like the realistic engine sounds, but just constantly using these mods to create conflict sometimes. I think I ended up with an issue with one of my couple of my records. Well, the records that I just got, and now frame rate sort of messed up, so I don't know if you can run both of them at the same time. I mean, just recently started doing some stuff, and, but nevertheless, I expect this stuff to happen because we things go. Start changing the algorithm of the game, and for all kinds of little issues. So this profile was sort of outdated, so I had to bring it up to speed. I had to darn cop. First I thought this was the 5700, the new 5700X. We're going to find out it's Cascadian. And they look exactly alike. A lot of people, now I'm going to have my opinion about this. There's always somebody always saying something and don't know what they're talking about. Normally, manufacturers work together even though they're against each other. They copy each other's designs all day long, and a lot of times they pay for those rights to be able to do that. So the manufacturer don't care as long as Cascadia. Put off the Cascadia and then put, boy, that's the Cascadia. Is the 5700X. Not knowing that the 49X, 57X. A lot of these trucks they're trying to create a family of trucks just like they did the cars. Look at the Audis, look at the BMWs, look at the Nissans, all of them look the same. Mitsubishi, they all look the same. So they're making families of cars. And a lot of times they actually move off of each other's design. That's just something that we do. Idiot. All you had to do is go on the road. I'm gonna run you off the road. All you had to do. You're sitting back there parlaying instead of just going on about your business. But you have to understand marketing. You can understand marketing. That's why they started mixing chips. They started mixing a lot of stuff we used to do. They're doing it now. And you could have decided to go on ahead and make a patent and actually copyright it or whatever, put a patent on it where it's your design. But we don't look at that. We look at the big manufacturers, the big developers or whatever it is. No disrespect to SES because it's a small company. They're still getting in where you fit in. I don't expect them to do anything outside of what they're already doing, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I'm talking about these big companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Kellogg, all these other companies that are making money. Decades of money, and now they're actually taking the same ideas that we did as kids and as we were growing up, and are taking it and patenting it. They're actually putting a patent on it, and we already did it. We were mixing cereal. I was mixing cereal when I was younger. Now they ain't mixing cereal. Never thought about it. But we all programmed to go and get a job, go to school, get a job. Nothing wrong with going to school, go and get a job. If you know what you're getting into, you got to know what you're signing up for, and then sometimes you have no alternative but to do that. But in the back of your mind, you always still have goals in mind and moving into a different having multiple destinations or multiple goals or things of that nature, stuff like that. Because they're getting a job, go to school, get a job. So that's the same thing that everybody else had did. They didn't think that they could be able to wear multiple hats. Almost lost it. With that wall and steel was covered. It's called whip skills. Even though I hit the wall, I didn't let her flip. I'm sort of just going with the flow. Normally I'm driving all, this and all that. Which, I don't, I'm just sort of going through the rounds. This is a quick job shuffle. So I'm going to mess around with these quick jobs, technically the whole duration. So outside of anything else, I do have mods in here, but I'm not dealing with all that. I'm just sticking with the objective, and we're going to stick with these quick jobs. One day I may take all the mods out and run no mods, just to see how the game plays without mods compared to having mods in, and stream it, and actually stream it so people could really see don't technically need mods. We are being programmed that we need. Oh well, the game isn't good enough. No, the game is good enough. You just have to understand that the direction that FPS is going, and as long as you're able to drive the truck, you're able to do all the stuff inside the truck, you should be satisfied. But we're never satisfied. Yeah, we're never satisfied. Always need something new. So that's why the marketers, marketing people, people that sell stuff, they're always creating something new because people get bored. That's why you have multiple cars. Or you have one car they make 1 year, then all of a sudden they redesigning it. Why? Because people get bored real easily with the same thing. But same thing isn't bad to have. You just have to be satisfied with whatever you get. We've been getting now. Oh, by the way, I think I had sent some information on my on the page about FCS going to Volvo. So we are getting the Volvo VNL very soon. I mean, probably sooner than later. I mean, whenever they get it finished or whatever, you can't even speculate when they're gonna finish it or whatever. It's just they're moving at a pace where we can't even comprehend. And these trucks are being pumped out. You know, the state, it just takes a little bit more time because everything, the state, they're just a little bit more complicated compared to releasing the truck. You know, throw the truck in there in the game, it's not much to do that. But when you're dealing with a map, it's different. It takes a team of folks to do that. And if that wasn't the case, then the same modders that y'all buy mods from, they may have a couple people that actually bring the vehicle into existence, and that's it. You know, they may have other people that are involved that may say, okay, well, you deal with the wheels, I deal with the engine, you deal with the paint job, textures, I deal with the physics of the truck, you know, so on and so on and so on. So you have a collective of modders that come together, and then once the truck is actually put together, or the vehicle put together, the model put together, then everybody gets credit for it, you know, for their work. Now, sometimes you can have one person that actually can put it all together. You know, they don't need a whole bunch of folks to actually put it together. Now, with a map, it's a little bit different. Because you have to go on in and find out what cities you want to use. Sometimes you may not need to put all the cities in there. And it would be a little bit more complicated. You would need a team of folks to actually do a lot of this work. So it would be a little bit more challenging. So let's pump out a mod. Even though I'm saying it myself, even though I don't know, I know basically how they're created because there are 3D models, and 9, 7, 10, some of them are not just built from scratch. You know, people say, oh, I'll build it from scratch. No, you had to still have if you had if you went on ahead and bought a model, 3D model, a lot of times you have to buy the model and then you just tracing over the model, whatever, or you're copying the model and actually, you know, using Blender or C modeler to actually bring it into program. Then once you actually get the actual model together, then you need to actually in-game it. So you would have to actually create scenarios or go into the criteria to use certain criteria to in-game. Like any other game, So you need the base of the game to actually you may need certain values of those trucks or whatever truck you're using. You use that as a base. Just like John Ruler's truck is based off the 389 SDS truck. And it has to be based off of it because it wouldn't show up in the game. And if it's not based on that, then you're not going to be able to in-game it. So it has to have the base in order for, so some parts of it, even though it may be built, with John Ruler or Bart, whoever, something you may need a base. And then some things you don't need a base. You just need to actually in-game it without the base. But 100% of the time you would need the base because, and I've actually experienced this. I had one truck where it would not show up in the game. I acquired it a long time ago. I won't tell you what it is. I don't have to tell you what it is. And all I did was actually go into the mod description, erase or change the version numbers, and then all of a sudden the truck showed up in my mod browser. Why? Because now, and then sometimes it will tell you that it's incompatible. If it's incompatible, a lot of times it's because the version isn't the same. So if we're in 1.45, then your mod is in 1.44. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a problem with it showing up in the game. So you would have to actually go into the scripting and change all that. So it can be tedious, but sometimes it's a good learning curve, learning skill set that you can learn. So you won't have to worry about, okay, well, when is they going to come and change the version? If the game, if the mod is unlocked, a lot of your mods, they normally lock a lot of the main files, which is the files that you use to actually dealing with the parts. So they keep those locked up, which you can actually add engine sounds, or you can actually be able to go to the definition files and actually get the information so you can be able to take, like let's say, for example, DMOS engine. You would need an open depth file that comes with the engine, or you have to open up the truck that you're using and find out what the name of the truck is. And I think I said this before in the stream. You have to be change that scripting. A lot of this stuff is based on scripting. And if you understand the scripting, I was doing a lot of the scripting myself before we actually started getting tag axles, lift axles. I was actually creating my own lift axles. Lifting the axle up, creating my own values to be able to use. If I wanted create a truck where I can be able to, instead of it just the back wheels, just one of the back wheels actually spins, because technically in reality only one set of axles actually spins. When you turn on the def lock locks both wheels. When I showcase the runner, that should be able to do that. If you're really interested in that. But, a lot of my games are based on physics, based on real life situations in a way where it teaches you how things are created, made. Now, SnowRunner is a game based on being out in no man's land, where a lot of the places that vehicles are, they're technically, in reality, you can't take a real truck, a real vehicle, because it's going to make conditions, technically, they're not realistic, but they are possible, but they will definitely put pressure on the vehicle, especially like cold, too hot, too much ice, too much rough terrain, where you're gonna damage underneath parts, suspension parts, steering parts, bust tires, stuff like that. So. Back into my train simulator game, which I'm gonna probably start trying to actually. It's probably gonna take a minute to do it, or actually, I'm just not boosting up on y'all. I'd be surprised if hopefully y'all, sort of do what I used to do, because I used to take maps and maps that was already created and actually add more tracks, add more amenities, things of that nature, more. Called contests, which is the actual traders that are actually buying together. So, sort of going back down memory lane on what I used to do, a lot of stuff I used to do, and I never got a chance to train. So, I'm sort of rusty, because I haven't did it in years, but I did a lot of stuff and never documented. I'm sort of upset about that, because I could have been doing this kind of stuff, but like to say, ignorance is bliss, and things happen, and you live and you learn. That's probably why I'm all over the road. Some of the stuff I still ain't. I did update, but I didn't update. That's gonna be up. Oh, real automatic. I don't really remember having it on that, but I remember now that I had to actually. This is way before I actually started using sequential and using a lot of stuff that I should have been using, that I'm using now. So put that on sequential, and the stability is off. See, I used to use used to be my old setting. So that's why the truck almost flipped over, because normally I have a lot of this stuff that where the vehicle is sort of more stable. But now, since we got physics now, because I don't even think I've touched this profile since we got physics support, or suspension, not the air ride suspension, where you can actually drop your truck at certain points, drop your front and drop your back. Mainly when we were, I think the time that Idaho was on the way. Because Idaho and Oregon, or Oregon would say, either one, when we started going off-road or going off the grid, then that's when a lot of this stuff, this is the profile I haven't touched in years. Probably about a year, maybe. And when you have a lot of profiles, that's what normally happens. See, steering rotation, I normally, well, before I started back using my Tracker R, which I spent a lot of money on that unit, and I'm like, well, I need to start using this stuff because, um, you know, you just got to start using your stuff. If you don't, it's sort of a waste of money if I don't use it. So, all right, now the truck should be a little bit more stable now. Um, Now I do have one truck in here. I'm gonna have to try it, see if it does the same thing as Blaze trucks, because I don't know if sometimes the game can get funny acting, especially when they start updating a lot of stuff. So, and then this Mac, I'm gonna have to replace or actually go in here. Truck that I want, because the scrolls actually work on this truck. Now, a Blaze truck, the scrolls don't work, other than the ones that are on the rough, which is probably going to be something that they're going to be doing soon. They're probably going to be updating a lot of stuff. But the frame rates didn't go too far down. Now you see how all the scrolls work, which and it's still like there's a frame rate issue. So I did try to verify my files, which is not a big deal, because I expect all kinds of crazy stuff to happen. Yeah. Somebody somebody tripping on the on the CB. Crazy. Now I'm not even sure if these engines work. See, we've been getting updates back to back, and they're breaking mods. I mean, they're just breaking mods like like 40 going north. I mean, and I expect that kind of stuff. Some people can't take that because they so used to things being working, perfectly. But the more you play the game, the more things are going to happen, and it just is what it is. And then sometimes the operating system it creates some problems. Well, if a lot of your downloads actually go to your what's that called? Your operating system goes onto your direct hard drive or SSD. They expect all kinds of stuff to happen, because sometimes everything wants to go to that drive, and when it goes to that drive, then you have to periodically move stuff around because sorry about that. Because that's the destination. Normally you have a destination drive, which is the C drive, and that's the drive that everything wants to go to. That's where all your computers are programmed to go to, and then you have to go into the administrative uh, section in your computer, and reformats and stuff where like for instance, if you want multiple hard drives, If you want to put more hard drives in, I think by default, computers are only allowed to have two, and you have to format things to be able to receive more, you know. And then sometimes you have too many, you know. So you just have to expect stuff to happen, you know. And that's another reason why one day I'm actually run with no mods just to see how the game does. And I may have too many mods in here, because we can run too many mods, or we can add too many mods in our mod folders. And then we think that everything is compatible, and it's just not. Everything isn't compatible. I'm about to turn this blue. I don't. See if I can turn it blue. If that may be the actual paint job. Yeah, I think that's the default paint job. Yeah, you just have to balance everything out. You may not like to actually have multiple profiles, but sometimes you have to have it in order for things to do, you know, to function a little bit better. Gonna do this truck because I'm not sure. I may not use this truck today. I don't even think so, because I'm technically trying to stay within my guidelines of what I said I was gonna do. But I haven't put this truck in since I bought the blade trucks, and I figure we won't have problems with those trucks right now. Might as well at least use our alternative truck if I decide to do any recovery stuff. But I've been doing recovery stuff for a minute, and sometimes, you know, you want to do something different. You can. Sometimes you just can't. Okay, that's good enough. I just wanted to at least have this truck on standby just in case I decide to run it or not. See, I still gotta get my antenna together. Like on this profile, other stuff is just I'm so behind on. Wasn't really feeling the best. Worked hard, worked extra hard, and sort of still sore, you know. But it's not holding my obligation like I said. So try to commit to the 2 hours, 2 days a week as much as I can. Later on, may not be able to stream. Got some other things going. Wife's birthday is today, so maybe possibly celebrating that. So we're not sure how that's gonna play out. So, and got some other things. I had a sort of busy day, and I try not to overexert myself. But sort of tired. tried to rest as much as I can, could, but you know, when you work, you know, do physical work, sometimes it can bear on you. You know, it's not like a spring chicken anymore. As much as you want to not admit it, that's what it is. Sometimes people are just in better shape than you sometimes. But it all takes discipline to do that. Sort of late getting out here, trying to find out some other information. Maybe a little bit under the weather because the weather changes. It did rain yesterday, last night. So now, and it was hot. So I think it was in the 80s, and that brought on a few storms here and there. I think if I didn't have liquid cooling, it would be a lot of things would be even worse because a lot of your PCs are breaking down because of heat expansion. Just like anything else, when you don't have enough cooling around it, then that creates more heat. And especially when you're high-end PC, a lot of people, oh well, I don't want this liquid cool, you know, because of the risk. But it's like anything else, it's a risk, you know. So far I haven't had any problems with mine, and technically a lot of it has to do with because I have a sort of a dual cooling effect. Because I didn't just have two fans, I went on and bought two more fans, and I made sure that I could make sure the case stays cool where it doesn't make the liquid cool affect the liquid cooling. A lot of times people think that just liquid cooling is enough. You have to have fans, multiple fans to be able to push things around, push the air around, as well as air to push a lot of your heat out of your case. And technically, the PC when I had it built, it only had two fans in the front, and that was it. Two fans in the front. So I took the idea, which is I think a 120 millimeter fan. Those ain't the biggest fans you can get, but those are about the biggest that I was able to get for my case. And they're a duplicate of the same of the. They're made by Cold-Star because the case is made by Cold-Star. Fans are made by Cold-Star, and I was able to sort of strategize on how to actually move a lot of the heat out of my case. So, you know, certain times that I'm using it or if I'm running it, it doesn't break down. You know, it's fast. Doesn't matter how much I mean, how much you spend on a PC is still gonna, going to escalate bills. You're still gonna have problems. I don't care if you spend $10,000 on a PC, you're still gonna have, problems. It could be more heat, because you're dealing with bigger components and things of that nature. So, but sort of have to be mindful all of those around here. Just sort of going through the rounds and just creating the footage because of my obligations. So, a lot of times I can stream on other days, but it's just that sometimes just don't feel like doing it. Just after you done work 8 hours, sometimes you don't feel like doing it. And it's okay. If you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to do it. That's the choice that you make. That's why everything's based on choices. So, the more they start putting on this game, the more it's going to be creating more challenges for your PC. I don't know if they optimized it yet. I know a lot of times it's running on DX11. That's what I kept seeing anytime I used to put a mod in and DX11. It'll be a DX11 conflict or mod issue or whatever. And probably one day I'll probably take all the mods out just to see how the game functions without any mods at all. I'm not that big on mods where I can't take my mods out and evaluate if it's really in my best interest to run them or not. A lot of times I run stuff because that's what people in the channel on the page want to see, something different. I may want to see something different, but drive a default truck, a vanilla truck. That's something I can do all day long. Because there's enough loads in here in this game to satisfy anybody. I think now we finally, because I sent a picture of a beet, I think a beet harvester. I need to see something. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. And this is why I keep trying to tell y'all, and I stress it over and over again, that you can give suggestions. That don't mean that it's always going to be, it's going to be put in game, but ever since we got Montana, I just found out this, and I didn't get a chance to run the load yet. But I just seen a beet harvester, and I was like, wait a minute, I remember that. But I don't know if I actually sent a picture to SES or I just showcased it on somebody else's page or something like that. I forgot how I did it. Let's see, I'm going to have to go here. Trailer. And I'm like, wait a minute. They starting to put farm equipment in here. I was like, okay. So I'm going to see while I'm thinking about it. Oh, that's that global truck trailer. This is a nice trailer. Globe. Yeah, I ran this trailer 2 days ago. And there's a lot of little mods in here. Yeah, and then the thing about it is people don't realize that influenced them to bring stuff out. When you create the mod, then they decide to put it in the game. I would do it. Anytime you come out with a mod, I would actually do the same thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see the garbage truck. Harvester. No, that's not it. So they started. I mean, they was already putting the harvesters in already, but that ain't the one I'm looking for. And I ain't gonna be on here too long anyway. It's already after 8 o'clock. I gotta get ready to make some moves. Uh, Weather changing up on me, and as you know, just like they used to say, the older folks used to say, I know it's about to rain 'cause my leg hurt and my back hurt and this and that. I mean, that stuff be true. You know, sure must be true. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's the garbage truck. Okay, it may be here. Okay, okay, that's the stamping machine. And then I found out this is actually for ballast, which is the rocks that actually go on the railroad. Because we all know this, we got more railroad stuff. Texas, when it comes out, we're gonna be probably doing more influence on rail rail support or rail transport or something like that. Just like they got into forestry. That's all crane. Nice. Here it is. Here it is. It's coming up. They're gonna beat Harvester. They're gonna beat Harvester, just like I said. Wow. And that's the same beat Harvester that I was trying to get them to implement in the game, or somebody I was trying to get a mod or somebody to put this in the game, and these folks done put it in the game. They done put it in the darn game. Wow, that's what I'm talking about. I love this stuff. Now, I was thinking to put it on a step deck, but maybe it's too heavy. Maybe it's too heavy. I didn't even think about that. So a lot of times, and that's why I stress. I mean, I have to keep myself grounded a lot of stuff because you don't know how much weight this thing is. Now, because you got these components here, components back there. Normally, you would have to have another truck to bring the front part. And this is I've seen this load. I'm like, wait a minute, these folks done put a beat harvester in here. I'm like, wait a minute. I still didn't get a chance to see it, and I'm looking at it, and it's living proof. This is it. This is actually the same, and the one that I was looking at was green. I don't care. I mean, I'm happy to see it. I'm so happy to see it. I gotta take a picture of it. I'm so happy to see this thing because I didn't even know they actually put it in there. But it made sense because you got all these um, um, other farming equipment, so it made sense to add it in here. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to load that on my truck. And, that's to make sure I didn't see anything else, but I think that might have been the only thing that I wanted to see. I got some other traders, some other loads in here. Oh, my, uh, this is Mason Racing's edit. This ain't, um, this is somebody else's creation, but it's his edit. He actually added some other lights to it. He couldn't find out who it was that actually um, created it, and sometimes you don't. You can't find the people that created it. So you gotta sort of put the credits in there and, keep on going. There should be no hard feelings, but uh, they just need to make a little bit more room for a lot of this stuff, or well, a lot of this stuff is exported, so still works for me. I don't care. And this is the beautiful thing about convoying because there's already loads in here that you can run, and you can still have fun. You don't have to necessarily I need to have all these mods or a certain amount of mods in here to actually have fun. No, the game itself has its own, has everything it needs. But we already at got about 3 more minutes. I'm gonna probably more likely cut off right at an hour. I hate to cut off, but I need to get myself together, and I need a little bit more time to get myself together compared to what I normally do today because I'm not feeling the best. A little under the weather, and I may be working too hard, working hard because the conditions that I'm working in will be too hot for me, too cold, or might have got too much air. And sometimes that air, if you mess around with that air conditioning, it'll mess you up. Especially if you got sinus issues, things of that nature. So it's not hard to get sick nowadays. There's so much going on now. So now you gotta watch the mosquitoes now. Because the West Nile, you got the West Nile now. That's adding to it. Monkeypox, and you still got the COVID still out here. So and many other things. Those ain't the only thing that's out here. There's plenty of stuff that's taking you out. Cancer. So much. And all you can do is live life as far as you can live it, and not be all caught in these griping sessions. A little too much. What's the name had some other stuff that was on sale. I just stick with the records right now. Trailers I'm okay with. Technically all of them need to sort of understand that not everybody got the money that people are asking for now. So you got to sort of discount stuff. The big time people do it all the time. SDS has discounted this game numbers of times. Why? Because they want their customer base, and everything is based on customer base. If you're not looking at marketing as a whole or as a tool to vehicle for you to drive to move you forward to the next phase, whatever you're trying to accomplish in business, they're gonna make you gotta discount things, you gotta create sales and things of that nature to keep to balance things out. You always well I want $60 for this, I want $50 for this. You'll never get anybody. You're gonna always be out of business. You have to meet people halfway. I wouldn't have even got two records, even though I was supposed to get like a little discount, and for to get a half price, and I have to pay full price, I take it. I just have to put I did the content for the records already, other than the T800. I think I did a little footage of the T800 already. So I'm a satisfied customer when it comes down to that, and they just gotta, may have to do some updating here and there. So, I'm patient. I can still play the game as it is and still have a good time, and just to have the TV chatter and have all this other stuff going on, it works for me. We over an hour, so that's good enough. We made it to Idaho, and we are cut off from here. Hopefully they enjoyed the show as long as I could showcase. You know, I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation, but I gotta run. Can't stay here all day, and it's just the way it is. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video or whenever next time I actually stream. Uh, and all right, there's nobody in here, so I'm not gonna raid anybody. All right, I catch y'all on the next video. Practice 42 out.